Hello everyone! Welcome to another fan fiction reading video. As you might notice, there's double the people that are normally here. Hello!
Hello!
Today we're going to be reading romance fan fiction, and as such I think it would be reasonable for me to bring someone in that fits that theme. This is my girlfriend, whose name is supposed to remain non-known. Very good screen presence so far, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
So today we're going to be reading romance fan fiction. The first two I picked out, they're Marvel related. The last one, blame her.
Yeah, that's okay.
Without further ado, here's some romance fan fiction. And that's why we make sure that we always keep extra boxes of Pop-Tarts in stock. The living room gets destroyed by the villains of the week often enough without Point Break, Legolas, and Snowflake getting into a fight over the last box, Tony quipped with his usual casualness and charm. This is a thing in fan fiction, especially Marvel fan fiction, where if you're writing Tony Stark, because he's given people nicknames like twice in the movies, every time he refers to anyone as a bad fan fiction writer, you need to refer to them by those nicknames.
Okay.
Bucky grinned sheepishly at his boyfriend. The man who killed his parents is now his boyfriend.
That makes sense.
Okay. To be fair, what Winter does is beyond my control, he pointed out. Tony just grinned, giving him a wink. Oh, he definitely knew that well. The interviewer. His name was Jack, John, something with a J. Tony didn't really pay attention at the beginning, though with Bucky dressed like that, paying attention at all was a miracle of itself. Now moving on to your relationship. You've been together for a while now, and only recently came out, correct? As Bucky nodded in agreement, Tony immediately straightened at the glint in whatever his name is eyes. That was never a good sign. So, Mr. Barnes, how does it feel to have a boyfriend who's so out of your league?
Oh, no!
That's very professional reporter behavior.
Yes.
Are they doing an interview with TMZ? Why would they be like, by the way, I'd like to imagine it's Barbara Walters. By the way, how does it feel that he is very out of your league?
That hits home. Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea that Tony Stark is, bisexual or at least somewhat attracted to men.
That's fine. That's a big theme in these. It's usually Steve Tony though, because they have the innate conflict, and it's that like anime thing where it's like, oh, they hate each other, so they must really love each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I identify with Tony a lot, so as a bisexual, it would be nice if Tony was bisexual.
Yeah. And there it was. Nope, not happening. Nada. Well, it feels amazing. Fantastic. Still don't know how I did it. Tony didn't have to fake his earnestness. It was only the truth after all. Gods knew that Tony didn't deserve having such a wonderful boyfriend, and he could never be thankful enough that they chose him. His boyfriend has murdered countless individuals, and again, I understand there's like a Manchurian candidate thing going on, but Bucky's like an old man from the 1940s who probably killed John F. Kennedy. Like, what are you doing? Bucky Bear and Snowflake could easily have anyone, being as gorgeous and amazing as they are, but I'm selfish, and as everyone already knows, and having them all to myself is something I wake up thanking whoever higher powers that still like me every day. Okay, maybe that was a bit too honest, but Tony would rather that because no one was allowed to fake out one of his boyfriends, not on his watch. Tony's very protective of his boyfriends?
Yeah, they keep saying boyfriends.
I assume that means Bucky, Steve, and Tony are in a throuple of some sort.
That's fair. That's a power throuple.
Tony has a thing for older men, apparently. Older men who look in their physical prime.
Yeah, he might also have a thing because Steve and Bucky are, like, for sure in love.
Yeah.
He might be attracted to that kind of thing.
I think it has something to do with his daddy issues as well, because his dad always talked about Captain America and how great he was, and Tony now is like, guess what, Dad? I'm balls deep in America's ass. Who's the winner now, dead dad?
He's also balls deep in the reason his dad is dead.
Yeah, okay. This all makes more sense than it has any right to, I'm gonna be honest.
I think they need some therapy.
He gave the sputtering interviewer a wide grin, satisfied and completely avoided the stare he could feel Bucky giving him. That was all right. If Tony had to be a bit vulnerable to admit how wonderful his boyfriends were, he would be more than happy to do it. The entire drive back to the tower was silent. Tony couldn't help but squirm under the slightly tense atmosphere. Did he regret it? No. But he really wished Bucky, or Winter, would say something. Tony held back as long as possible. When they reached the penthouse floor, he couldn't hold it anymore. Okay, I mean, I know I spoke up for you and all, which was rude, I'm not afraid to admit it, but I couldn't sit here and allow him to say anything against how amazing you and Winter are. I mean, I know I'm not the best boyfriend, and I try, but obviously you could do so much better. So, it's a proven fact that both Bucky and Winter have found that kissing Tony was an excellent way to get him to stop talking. Didn't stop him from making needy noises, though. He knew how much they liked it, though, so it should be fine. He thinks? Thoughts are hard when he's getting his soul sucked out via mouth to mouth.
Oh no! You should never be using that much suction that you can suck out his soul.
Just put your mouth to mouth and... That's how kissing works, right?
Okay, so it's not a Steve, Tony, Bucky throuple. This person that's writing is counting Bucky and Winter as two separate people.
But they're not. It's just a nickname he gave him.
Yes.
That's very confusing for the reader.
It is very confusing. Because I thought they should have introduced this in the beginning, like, better, if it was a throuple. But it's just, Tony and Bucky.
Yeah.
I guess it's like the whole when he switches, he's the Winter Soldier, and it's kind of like a Hulk thing.
But, like, the Winter Soldier is a murderer. It's not like Tony's, like, banging the Winter Soldier.
Maybe he is! Some people like murderers.
Okay.
Have you seen all the people that write letters to murderers in prison?
Fair enough. You were the most, Bucky said between sweet melting kisses. Precious, infuriatingly adorable thing I've ever come across, doll. I can't imagine Bucky calling someone doll. I take it that's a good thing, Tony panted when he could finally get enough oxygen for his brain to function, leaning against his unfaringly and simultaneously righteously handsome and gorgeous boyfriend. That's a lot of adjectives.
It is.
It was also unfair how much a smile could make Tony's heart just utterly melt, and it was unfair how much he loved this man, how much he loved all of them. Oh, all of him. Even the part that killed his dad.
Yes.
And how easily they could ruin him. Tony found the trade-off that he could have this for as long as possible before being completely destroyed in the long run. Totally worth it. It should concern him more than it does. Doll, me and Winter, we would give the world to be able to just hold you one more night. We would do everything in our power if we could be with you, for however long as possible. If anyone is lucky to be with whom, it's us who are thankful for every day we get to see your smile, feel your hugs, taste your kisses, and hold you in our arms.
Aww.
Tony forever denies it that his eyes teared up. Someone obviously left a cut onion laying around, and it was just starting to get to him, obviously. You're such a sap, both of you are. Tony could live with the kisses for the rest of his life. We love you too, babe. He feels like he's okay with that. So, okay, it's like they're acting like he has a split personality.
Yeah.
But that's not how it functions.
Mm-mm.
That's not explained very well. Okay.
So I've learned from this, for a successful romance, one of us is going to have to kill the other's parents.
I volunteer my father.
Perfect.
Okay, the second one. This is a bit of a youth romance. This is a Peter Parker MJ romance. Okay. This is entitled, incidentally, The Peter Tingle.
Oh no.
Peter Parker was at the movies with MJ when he felt it. The Peter Tingle. He looked at his arm and saw his hairs standing on end. He leaned toward MJ, who briefly moved away before accepting the closeness. MJ, I'm so sorry, but I think there's trouble, he whispered. Here? What makes you so sure? Is it your Peter Tingle? MJ asked with a chuckle. Peter chuckled in return. He agreed that there was no better name for it. Yes, but it's weird. I don't see anything suspicious. Edith scanned the perimeter. Peter activated his glasses. The screens showed no threats, but flashing red light. What's the warning? Peter asked the AI. A biodata notification. Your bladder is currently 65% full, Edith informed him. Ah, so it's a literal Peter Tingle.
Oh no.
Tingle, tingle, Peter thought to himself. He then wriggled. Tingle, tingle, Peter thought to himself. He then wriggled is one of the grossest sentences I've read in a while. I don't know why.
Okay, I thought the Peter Tingle was gonna be like...
It's a spider sense.
But I thought that it was gonna be how badly he wanted to fuck MJ.
Oh yeah, you'd think it would be, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Nope, he's just gotta take a tinkle. He's gotta do
Perfect.
the pee-pee.
Perfect.
What is it? Where's the trouble? MJ asked curiously. In my web shooter, Peter stated vaguely.
Oh no! Oh no.
Can I start referring to my
No.
business prior to bottom surgery
No.
as my web shooter?
Nope.
Please?
No.
It's out of web fluid because of the hormones anyway.
She already has a name.
Oh, let's not get into that on camera, please. What's wrong with it? She asked, thinking he was talking about his actual web shooter. It's not currently held tight in my black night monkey outfit, he explained. MJ would have laughed so hard at that if the movie wasn't playing. Oh, that web shooter. Need to borrow my backpack? MJ offered, picking it up. Is she offering for him to pee into her backpack? Backpacks are not meant for liquid storage.
No.
What?
I think she thought that he had an erection. And that he wanted to hide it. I don't know, though.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a weird... I was wondering, did I miss out on a whole thing where people pee into backpacks?
It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think that's what.
Not unless you've got a bottle or a map for getting me to the bathroom without being noticed, Peter remarked. Without being noticed? It's a movie theater. Get up and go take a pee, dude. What are you doing?
Yeah. They must be very disruptive. I would be so upset if people were, like, talking about peeing and Peter Tingles at a movie.
Peter remarked, the movie wasn't over and he really didn't want to be that guy. No one cares if you just silently get up and go.
No.
No one cares.
No one cares.
Don't you have something in your suit for that, MJ?
Oh my
asked?
god.
Yeah, that's always great on a date. I'm peeing right now. And don't pretend you don't have it. I know that thing on your wrist makes it from your body. Iron Man had the same thing. Makes it form on your body. I gotcha. No, it has a thing for letting me pee with it on, not in it, Peter replied. What about camouflage? MJ proposed. Camouflage?
What about camouflage?
Is he gonna fucking predator stealth himself and then go into the corner of the theater and pee? Or no, he just wants to stealth and then go to the bathroom as if no one has ever gotten up and gone to the bathroom in history.
See, I have, like, the tiniest bladder. That means I sit on an aisle seat.
Yeah.
So that I can get up and not disrupt people.
Mm-hmm. Edith, does my suit have a camouflage function, invisibility or something? Peter asked his glasses. It has the first two. However, regarding your last option, something should be everything. Edith explained, correcting his grammar. Thanks, he thanked her. Thanks, he thanked her?
That's redundant.
That's awful. I mean, it's a fan fiction, so of course there's not an editor, but like, read your thing through once. Take out repetitive words.
Thanks, he mumbled so that other people weren't disrupted by him saying thanks.
Sure. Silently putting his suit in invisibility mode, Peter crept away to the bathroom. He tapped two hidden buttons near his hips, making part of the material phase away. Crotch section.
It's like those One Piece pajamas
With
that
the
have
flap.
a chute. Yeah.
Yeah. A chute?
My mom called it a poop chute.
Yeah, that's what people call their rectums, is a poop chute. Your mom is wrong. He pulled it down, grabbed his web shooter, and let go. The alternative form of Peter Tingle continued as he tinkled, emphasizing the relief which immediately made him sigh happily. I swear, this, and you saw the video where I did the Doctor Who fan fiction with he began pushing out the poo?
Yes.
Is there just is this like a fetish? Is someone like into having to pee and not being able to and discussing it? Because I just don't understand the purpose of these kind of fan fictions if it's not that.
I mean, that's true. I never really thought about it. But yeah, why write this unless you really like the idea of, having a full bladder?
It's either that or it's like 10-year-olds writing this, but this is written higher than 10-year-old writing level. In terms of like, they think potty humor is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, ha ha ha, he has to go pee-pee, but he can't do the pee-pee.
Yeah. I don't know.
He washed his hands and returned to his girlfriend.
Thank God he washed his hands.
Yeah. Hey, wasn't the crotch of your suit originally red, MJ asked, noticing what looked like dark fabric in that area. Yes, it was, Peter answered simply. Really glad I'm not wearing my old suit, he noted in bitter relief. What?
Why?
Wait, did he come back to his seat in his Spider-Man suit, uncloaked? Like, what? Let me know if you need to borrow my backpack, MJ told him, holding it out in front of him with a huge mocking grin on her face, albeit a kind one. Shut up, Peter lightly punched her arm. Just telling the truth, she joked in her defense. They continued watching the movie in respectful, lovey-dovey silence.
Sure.
Now we gotta read the last one. At least, I don't know if... no, I'm not gonna read the whole thing.
No.
But I blame you for this.
Yes, this is my fault.
This is not okay.
This is what I showed her when we woke up this morning. Because it's something that I found when I used to be on Tumblr a lot. So this is like a decade-old fan fiction. And I apologize for anyone that has not seen this before. You will not be the same.
This is a Harry Potter fan fiction entitled The Sorting Hat's Love. Dumbledore regally strode across the library, carrying something in the crook of his arm. He gently leaned over Hermione, who was studying alone at a table. Hermione, I'm taking the sorting hat out while I dust my quarters. You wouldn't mind watching him for a bit, would you? Can I just point out, we've seen Dumbledore's office. It's full of tons of things.
Yeah.
Why would he remove the sorting hat to clean out his office when it's full of so many other things?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
He's not asking her to watch, like, Fonks.
Yeah. That's his Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course not, Dumbledore, Hermione said, smiling. She was pleased Dumbledore needed her help, even for such a mundane task.
Dumbledore's being a wingman.
Oh, no, you're probably right.
He wants to get the sorting hat laid.
Yeah, that's a very Dumbledore thing. Dumbledore's a jerk who doesn't care about his students' well-being. He uses them as tools, so this makes sense. Dumbledore plopped the hat down on a table near Hermione, patted her on the head, and once again regally walked away. Let's hope this is, like, 7th year right before everything goes down. 'Cause...
Yeah. It's not, but yeah.
Oh no. Hermione returned to her study when a gruff, sing-song voice chimed, "What are you doing, Dragonfire?" Excuse me, Hermione looked around the room curiously. The sorting hat hopped up from his table and landed in front of Hermione. His voice took a deep baritone as he began to sing. It reminded Hermione of her mom's Muggle 70s records. Your ass as hot as Dragonfire, filling me with desire. I'm just gonna... Your small T and big A make my wand grow into a staff. Say you want me to. We don't have to make love. Just screw. Are you prepared to just pull this out one day and say this to you? Because I think you've earned it.
We will never, ever, never. No, never.
Never?
Never.
Okay, sometime in the next week.
Never.
When you're not expecting it.
Never.
Hermione's mouth dropped open. What? She stumbled. The sorting hat leaned closer. I never forget how good it felt to sit on your head the first year, Hermione. I've wanted you ever since. Are they not doing background checks on the enchanted hats for the fucking school? They really should.
Yes, they should.
Hermione awoke from her shocked state. What are you talking about? This is crazy. You can't even shag anyone. You're a hat. This Sorting Hat came face to face with Hermione. He stitched his eyes, boring into hers. Don't knock it till you tried it. I can do things to you no wizard your age can imagine. That's disgusting. You're disgusting, Hermione admonished. I'm going to tell Dumbledore. You want to see where my penis is? The Sorting Hat offered. Nothing more. I've never wanted anything more, Sorting Hat.
Oh, God.
What is wrong with you?
I didn't write
As
this.
far as I know.
I didn't write this.
She's written fan fiction, by the way, which she has asked she wishes she still had. I would love to read it on the show.
It was Twilight fan fiction that I wrote when I was 14.
You could have been E.L. James. You could have spun it off into your own thing and made $1 million with like a 50 Shades for Grey.
It was bad.
Oh, of course it is. So
was
is 50
bad.
Shades of Grey.
Yeah, mine wasn't like that bad. Mine involved whipped cream and like lingerie. So I hope that my dad doesn't watch this video.
What? Hermione looked over the Sorting Hat doubtfully. She couldn't help but be a little curious, yet repulsed at the same time. That's the best piece of writing in this whole thing, because I am also curious but repulsed.
Yes.
The Sorting Hat sat on the table, his face contorted in concentration. He began to sink down like an accordion. What are you doing? Stop it, Hermione demanded. Suddenly, the Sorting Hat flipped inside out. On the now reversed point end of the hat dangled a giant penis. His eyes and mouth transformed fully through the fabric. Ta-da! The Sorting Hat exclaimed proudly. To anyone with a dick out there, that's the best way he can present it the first time. Ta-da! At least show some flair, give some spirit fingers. If it's disappointing, at the very least, there's showmanship involved. It shows that you're putting effort in, and that's what counts. Hermione stared in shock at the wobbling hat penis.
How does he get an erection though? Like he doesn't have a circulatory system.
He's a magical hat. It's magic. He's magic. He's a magical hat. He's a horny hat. Magic hat.
He's a horny hat.
Wait, that would mean every first year who puts you on would feel your penis on the top of their head. Don't flatter me that much, Hermione, the hat cooed. I'm not quite that big, but sometimes if I scrunch down on someone with particularly rounded head, I get a little tickle of contact. My semen is actually really good conditioner for witches and wizards' hair, so sometimes I squirt a little surprise for them when I get a chance. I don't see what there is to complain about, but stupid Dumbledore always keeps an eye on me, and it's hard to get away with, the hat finished grumpily. I'm speechless. Hermione's mind, for the second time she could remember, felt blank. Do you want to touch it? The Sorting Hat tipped his penis towards her, indicating. She did want to touch it, since it was a strange, colored penis that looked incredibly soft, like the rest of his ragged velvet body. But that would be ridiculous. She averted her eyes. Just turn yourself right side up. And then some stuff happens that I cannot read on YouTube.
Yes. Do not.
So we're gonna skip ahead to some other stuff that happens. Hermione returned to her dormitory. She wondered why the hat was not there. She started looking under the bed when a voice from behind her startled her. Hermione, Snape purred. Professor Snape, what are you doing here? You've been put under a spell, Hermione. I've come to break you free from it. Hermione seemed confused, thinking something like, such a hard thing to do lately. What do you mean? I've come to share my love-making skills with you. I'm afraid it's the only way to free you. The hat has placed you under a spell. Hermione looked back. What? No, it's not true. Stay away from me. Snape knew part of the curse was making her act irrationally. Irrationally. As a teacher's like, I need to share my lovemaking tips with you. My lovemaking.
The literal tip.
Yes. McGonagall already fluffed me up, so I'm ready to go!
And then Snape reveals some things.
Snape dropped his pants, exposing his huge 11-inch wand.
Yes, wand. That's beautiful. It's a wand.
It doesn't say wand, but
It's
wand.
a wand.
Hermione stared at it in surprise. Severus cast a spell, removing Hermione's clothes. I can't read that part.
No.
I can read this. Lay down, Hermione. You will soon feel the pleasure of Snape's snake.
Yeah.
Are you ready to ride the Snape Express? Snape said sulkily. And then activities take place.
Yes. Compared to a muggle water gun.
Which breaks her of the spell. What happened, Hermione asked, moving from underneath Snape. He was up on a ladder.
Yes.
And she's underneath.
Yeah.
Apparently I have broken the control the hat had over you, Snape said arrogantly. Meanwhile, the hat was enjoying Ginny's, treats. He finished it and lit a cigar. Look, babe, that was great, but I'm not a commitment type of hat. Besides, I'm seeing Hermione. What do you need her for? Ginny spoke suggestively. She leaned down. I don't know if I can't say this.
No.
I love that turn of phrase, though. She gave the hat a place where hats normally sit. How about that?
Okay, that
Okay.
works.
If you can figure out the turn of phrase there, good for you.
Yeah.
Dumbledore, Harry, and Ron sat in Dumbledore's office. Well, it seems everything worked out for the best. Dumbledore was once again eating jelly beans.
I don't want to know what flavored jelly beans he's eating.
Yeah, everyone got to dance but me, Ron said selfishly. Danced.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbledore looked at Ron, considering. Harry, why don't you leave me and Ron alone for a minute? Harry, confused, walked out of the office. He stood by the door listening and heard heavy panting. Well, I guess everyone has gotten to dance but me. Snape leaned against the wall. Potter, come to the dungeon for detention. Harry smiled a little skip as he followed the potions master with a little skip in his step.
You made it through, love.
Why are you like this?
I don't know. Why are you dating me?
I have very good judgment.
Yeah.
So, that's this video. Blame goes to her.
I'll take the blame. You won't find me.
Credit goes to me, though, if there's any to be had.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of communism. So, you can always follow me on Twitter at Hannah Reloaded. You can always donate to the Patreon if you want to help support the show, or donate to my transition fund if you want to help all that stuff. And that link is in the description along with everything else. I know she would appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
And what else? I think that's it.
If you have questions about me, leave them in the comments below, and maybe one day Hannah and I will do a Q&A.
Okay.
She had no idea I was going to say that.
Until next time, Hannah.
That's not going in there.
I'm gonna have to bleep that.
Yep.
Now. Let's go ride The Snape Express.
No.
No?
Nope. Nah. Nope, he's not my type.
Want to see my sorting hat?
No. No.
See you guys next time.